What's up, everybody, and welcome to this new series, like a sub-episode of Off the Dome, called Book Talk with P90. Me, P90. And today, I will be introducing this new show to you guys, which is probably going to be once a month, or sometimes more than once a month if I can fit it in. But right now, once a month, we will be talking about all the books that I read, books that I'm going to buy, or shopping trips or whatever to the bookstore, and just basically me rating books, talking about books. I really like books, and shout out to all the book content creators on YouTube, because most of you have pushed me to do this, because every time I watch your videos, I'm just like, damn, I would love to just commit to doing this. I mean, if you've been around for my other Off the Dome series, you know that I've reviewed books at least once or twice. I've reviewed comic books. If you've been on my TikTok, you know that. So this is nothing too new to me. It's just now I'm going to commit to a full-face video of this. So we're going to start off with 3 books since this is just an introduction episode, But I want to shout out to Cousin 5. I'm going to actually give homie a link in the description so y'all could go down there and check out his videos. He takes a camera out when he shops sometimes. He talks about books too. He talks about the books that he's read and how he likes them and stuff like that. I'm going to try and steer away from spoilers as much as possible with these books, but it's going to be a little hard. Just a little hard. But let's jump into that. I guess I could tell you what type of books I like before we get in there. If you're new to the channel or new to me in general, don't even follow me on Twitter or whatever. I love horror. That's my #1 genre. I read a lot of Stephen King. I read a lot of Batman, and it has a lot of horror-esque stuff in it, depending on who the villain is. But that's my main one. And then I like cyberpunk stuff. So if you guys have any cyberpunk recommendations, please drop them in the comments, because right now I've just read the Cyberpunk 2077 No Coincidence novel and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. But yeah, send me some recommendations for cyberpunk or even horror. I mean, that too. I also read fantasy every now and then, but you'll get a gear for my taste the further we get along. So let's do these and see how this video goes, and then we'll keep it going from there. This is my lovely assistant Tempbot. If you've never seen Bee and Puppy Cat, you should go watch that on Netflix. It is one of the greatest adult cartoons there is. Now, welcome to Night City and No Coincidence, a cyberpunk story set in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe. This story by Rafal Kosik, I probably butchered that, but if I didn't, thank God. This story follows a group of people who were hand-selected randomly that have no connection, and they were selected to pull a job, which they succeed in doing. They pull a job, they steal something and dump it off where it's supposed to be dumped off at. Mission done, right? No one needs to know anything. But apparently, they're all pretty connected, and throughout the book, you end up seeing their lives kind of intertwined, and then they end up coming back to each other in a sense, only to find out that there might not be a coincidence as to why they did this job, why all of these specific people did this job. Now, to know what that is, you'll have to find out. But I think this book is great. I think it's really fun to read. It does not a lot, but it does a good amount of building on the world to make you feel like you're in cyberpunk. It has all the lingo there. It has all the descriptions of the other people who live in the city. It's a really fun book. This book's great. Something about it, though, I feel like it was missing something. I'm not sure how to explain it, but when I finished this, I wasn't fully satisfied with my journey in Night City through this book. It's not that I hated it. It's just something was missing. But other than that, the book's great. I mean, I give it a 3 stars, but it's a high 3 stars. If I give anything under a 3 stars, it means what it means. If it's a 3 star, it's either a high 3 star or a low 3 star. But this one, it's a high 3 star. I love it. It feels like cyberpunk. It feels like I'm in this world. I really cared for these characters for the most part. I just can't put my finger on what it was that made me not care about it anymore. I recommend it though. If you like cyberpunk, if you like that type of genre of stuff, I truly think that you should give this book a read. Bop. House of Night by PC Cast and Kristen Cast, her daughter. Now, this is a 2-in-1 book. It's Marked and Betrayed, the first 2 books in the series. I've read this book as a child, and I loved it. I'm reading it again as an adult, and I really like it. But damn, is there so much fluff in here. And what I mean by that is, they do a lot of recapping what just happened in the last book, and then in the last 2 books, and then in the last 3 books, and so on. They just do that a lot, but it's really fun. This book is about a girl named Zoe Redbird who gets marked to become a vampire. She's fledgling, and she basically gets sent off to the school for vampires until they fully turn, and then they go off into the world and be things. So in this book, people like famous poets, actors, most of them are just vampires. Vampires are usually insanely rich, they're very wealthy, they live pretty good lives, or they work at the schools where they pretty much get everything kind of handed to them because it's a school. The schools are very special and very important to the vampires. So if you work there, you pretty much have your life set. Otherwise, you go out and do what you're very special at. Each vampire also has like special abilities. Zoe has abilities I can't tell you about. There's others that have abilities to feel the elements, and then there's people who have the abilities to feel all the elements. Some people can shoot arrows and never miss their target. Stuff like that. Warriors, etc., etc. There's something in here for all vampires. Now, I recommend this book if you like Harry Potter but wish that those people were vampires at the same time. Now, it's not written as great as a Harry Potter book, but if you were 13 reading this book, you'd probably think that it was written as good as a Harry Potter book. This book leaves a lot to be desired sometimes, especially since the big bad stuff doesn't happen until like book 3.5 and 4 and so on. So the first 3 are just a bunch of building, setting Zoe up, her friends up, kind of breaking them down a little bit, introducing plot points that will come back later. But it's worth it once you get to the big baddie, because once you get to the big baddie, that shit is just like, damn son, this nigga kind of fucked up, cuz. So I recommend it. I like it. As a kid, I would give this a 4-star book. As an adult, I'm not going to rate this book because I would probably be sad saying that out loud. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a try. If you need fantasy, if you want some magic and vampires all in the same thing and have them all go to school, this is the book. It's steamy. It's controversial. And it's like high school, college, all over again. House of Night. Just buy them individually like I used to. I couldn't find my old copy, so that's why I got this one. But honestly, as a book reader, I fucking hate this book specifically. I don't like this 2-in-1 book. I hate it. I want my hardcovers back. Lastly, a book that I'm not finished with yet, but I got like 150 pages left. Sarah J. Maas, A Crescent City Novel. House of Earth and Blood. I'm not editing that out. That's too much work. House of Earth and Blood. Just in case I do edit it out. This book is wonderful. This book is huge. It's fun. It's great, and it's filled with magic. It's filled with mysticism, deception, betrayal, love, hatred. It's filled with so much stuff. And even when you feel like you've gotten to the end of the book, there's a third part, and you're just like, you yourself, before you even realize there's a third part, you're just like, nah, that can't be it. That can't be everything that happened. That can't be how it went down. So the story follows a character named Bryce who ends up losing her best friend. She needs to figure out how she lost her best friend, because after an attack happens, someone hires her to figure out where this attack is coming from. And because she was connected to the attack, they hire her specifically. And she works with this angel named Althar, this big, hunky, big guy with wings, who ends up working with her for like months. I think it's been a couple weeks or a couple months, trying to figure out who's been summoning demons and killing people and stuff like that, right? So it's basically a big old detective adventure, but it doesn't have detective aspects. Like, it's not full-on detective, alright? So don't think you're going in here reading Sherlock Holmes. It's like two people who just really need to figure out a fucking problem. And they do it together, and they don't like each other. But it's so fun. There's banter, there's like slight romance going on here, and then the book has some really steamy parts, but it's not the steamiest. Apparently she has even steamier, hottier sauna books than this. But this is fun, alright? You're in a world of magic. There's fairies, there's fae, there's angels, there's vipers, there's mer people, there's humans too. But most of them aren't human. Most of them are just magical beings. And if you really like fantasy, I recommend this. Apparently you should read some of her other stories before this, because there's the second book in this series connects somehow. But this is my first time reading her book, and honestly, starting with this, I don't regret it. I love it. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. Like, Bryce is a really cool character. I have moments where I hate her, then the moments where I'm like, nah, yo, I fuck with her. And I just want more for her. This is a book where you're every couple pages, you're just gonna be like, damn, Bryce, I want more for you, Bryce. I want more for you. Damn, Bryce, you're doing a damn thing, yo. Damn, Bryce, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's so good. And then there's family drama in it too. Like, somehow, a book that's very magical is also relatable. So if you like magic, and if you need something that's a little bit more adult, right? It doesn't take place in high school, this is absolutely the book for you. This book does not take place in high school. This book is filled with adults. This book is nothing but adult and mysticism. If I were to rate this book, I would give it a 5 out of 5. But I'm not done yet. But if I were to rate it, it's 5 out of 5 because I really like it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It is a stunning story. So, thank you guys for stopping by Book Talk with P90. I hope to see you again. This is actually the second time I made this video, because apparently the first time I did it, it was a time lapse. It pissed me off so bad. I just wanted to share that with you. Goodbye.